What is up, YouTube? Merciless Nerve coming to you with another storytime video. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the first time I ever had a Four Loco. Now, for those of you guys that know what Four Locos are, they're probably one of the cheapest alcoholic beverages that usually are gravitated towards like younger people, I guess. And it's pretty much like the size of an Arizona can, and they get you pretty smacked up, right? So, they're not necessarily good for you, I guess you could say, because it's so high of a percentage. Like it's like two or three servings, and yeah, it's I don't know. I would recommend you guys like not having them, especially for those that have never tried them. There's other alternatives. But yeah, I was young, and you know how us young people get sometimes, I guess you can say. So to kick it off, it was a this was back when I was actively going to like college, like before I joined like the military and started doing like online and stuff. It was probably like, yeah, for sure around that time. And I remember getting like almost getting out of work, and one of my boys hit me up. One of my boys at the time hit me up, and he's like, "Yo, like, what are you doing tonight?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Really, I got school tomorrow." And he's like, "Yo," at this time he wasn't really in school, so like, besides like working, there was nothing really else that he was doing. And he's like, "Yo, like, you trying to like hang out tonight?" And like at first I'm like, "Nah," but I'm like, "Yo, like, you know, what?" I'm like, "Fuck it, it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Doesn't really matter. Let's do it." So we ended up going out and stuff, right? Like we were chilling for a little bit, doing whatever. He's like, "Yo, have you ever had a Four Loco?" And I'm like, Nah, like I've heard of them about them, but like I've never like went into the store to like go get one. Like I didn't drink like that when I was in the military and stuff. Like I've only drank like a couple times prior to that, primarily because I didn't really like it. There were other alternatives, I guess you can say. But I'm like, fuck it, yeah, let's try some Four Locos. And he's like, bet. So we pull up to like the corner store that's like down the hill from like my old house or whatever, and they didn't cart there. So we ended up getting I think we ended up getting like four, and oh no, we got three because one of my other friends were coming to like tag along once he got out of work. So I remember we went to go pick him up. We didn't open them just yet, and we pull up to his job, and then we crack him open, right? And then one of our other boys like links with us, but he doesn't want any, so he's our DD pretty much for that night. And since he's our DD, like we're getting right into it. And at first I was like, "Yo, this tastes like juice. Like this shit's like slight. Like there's nothing like heavy about this." And then we kill those. We end up pushing back to like my pad or whatever, and then we drive back to like through the corner store, like, or we're like close to like the corner store where we went to go pick these up like originally. And by this time I'm done with mine, and I killed mine pretty quick, and I wasn't feeling anything, like. And I'm like, "Yo, let's get two more." And he's like, "Well, just for two people?" And I was like, "No, like I want two more." And then he turns around, right? He's like, "Yo, you're gonna die." And I remember just losing my shit. Like I lost my shit when he said that. It was the funniest thing ever because I guess like it was starting to kick in once you've had like a couple or if you drink enough, certain things just set you off, like that just makes you laugh, like no matter how funny you think it is or not. So we're he goes into the store, he gets more, and I'm killing the second one, right? So we pull up to like around the street from like my house, and we're just chilling, like saying jokes and stuff. And about like I want to say 30-45 minutes in, I'm done with my second one. And I'm like, "Yo, this is light. Like these drinks aren't anything." And I'm like, "Yo, hold up. I gotta piss real quick." So I open the door, and my first step, right? My first step. For those of you guys who have seen Bambi, right? When Bambi first learns how to walk, and she's fucking like shaking and shit. Like, like she can barely walk. That's how my first step was. I was a newborn deer. All right. I didn't know how to walk. I had a like my legs were crippling at that point, and it all hits me at once, right? And I'm like, yo, I'm pretty fucked up, right? And the one thing that goes into my mind is, yo, I hope my mom is not awake right now, right? So she wasn't the one to like really like stay up late. She's never been like a night owl like that, if you know what I mean. Like usually once you get to like a certain age, you just want to go to bed once you get home from work, which at that point was where she was at. Like, she wasn't old or anything, but she worked like a good amount of hours throughout the week, and you kind of just want to come home, have a glass of wine, and chill or whatever. Like usually how adults are, I guess you could say. So I'm pretty smacked at this point, and I quickly realized like, yo, like I have school tomorrow, and I'm like, boy, what am I gonna do? So there's only two options, right? Stay up later than I was already up, right? Or call it a night right there. Because it was getting pretty late. It was coming up around like 11, 12 o'clock. I want to say more towards 11ish. And I'm like, yo, like let's call it a night. Because, we still have the weekend ahead of us. The weekend was still young, right? And I'm pretty sure I had that following Monday off. So that made it a little better as well. So we dap each other up, we're leaving and stuff. The DD, one of my other friends, like he's dropping us off. I get dropped off first since I live the closest to where we're hanging out. So we pull up to the crib, dap my boys up or whatever, and I start heading towards my front door. So before I go in, like I kind of like peek through the window, and it's pretty dark in my living room, right? That's where we had like our little like TV set up. My mom had one in her room, but the nice comfy cozy couches were downstairs in the living room. So I peek in and it's pretty dark. Like I don't see any light. And I'm opening up the door, get bottom lock, top lock, open the door. Guess who's sprawled out on the couch? Yup, my mom. So first thing that jumps into my head is, yo, I'm fucked. Alright? Because not only do I probably smell like alcohol, but I'm fucked up at the same time. Like, I'm trashed at this point. Like, I didn't have a tolerance, right? So it's not like I could mask it or anything. I didn't have any gum. So, like, I just smell like Four Loco, like sweet fucking alcohol, like candy fucking alcohol juice or whatever you want to call it. And she's just on the couch. So I take off, like, my little bag or whatever, and I walk up to her, to give her, give her a little hug, like, hey, mom, I'm home and shit. So I gave her a hug. I'm like, yo, I hope she doesn't smell anything. So she doesn't mention anything. But, like, your parents aren't stupid. Like, they know, like, what we do. You know what I mean? And eventually, guys, when you guys are parents, too, you'll fucking realize. Me, I'm not a parent, but I'm just waiting for the days where my kids are going to think they're slick, right? Like, I have no idea what they were probably doing. But she didn't say nothing of it. And I sit on the couch next to her. Not, like, directly next to her. There were, like, two separate couches, like, at different angles. I sat on the couch that was on, like, the other side of the room. So I asked her, like, hey, you're, like, she was watching, I want to say she was watching Power. And then I look over to her and I say, what's going on in this episode? She didn't answer me at all. So that meant one of either two things, right? One, she was like, yo, like, this dude's, like, definitely smacked up. Like, there's no hiding it. Or two, I just slurred my words to the point where it didn't comprehend a full sentence and she maybe thought I was talking to myself. Those are the only two options I could possibly think of. And I will never know. I will never know unless I can go back in time and read her mind. But those are the only two things I could possibly think of. Like, one, I slurred my words to the point where I didn't comprehend a full sentence. Or I talked in, like, such a retarded manner where she like knew what was going on. So I didn't ask the question again. Like, it was just quiet, you know. So I didn't want to press too hard into it. I didn't want to ask like the question again or anything. So I just sit there and I'm watching Power with her for like a good I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, right? And then my body like start my like arm starts falling asleep and then my leg. Now I don't know if something was like triggering in my body cuz like it was kind of like the first time being that like fucked up or what, but I was slowly sinking into the couch. I don't know, like my body was just so overwhelmed out of nowhere. And I was like, yo, like I need to get out of here. I need to get to my bed before one of either two things happen. One, I fall asleep and she comes up to me and asks, why am I sleeping here? Or two, because I didn't, my phone was dead for sure. Because I've been out all day. Like earlier that day, I did have class. And I went straight to work after. And I haven't been home all this time. So I didn't get a chance to charge my phone. Right? So my phone's dead. If my phone's dead, how am I going to wake up for school the next day? I don't have an alarm. Right? So I'm telling myself, yo, I need to go upstairs. I need to go shower first and foremost. And then I need to take my ass to bed. So I gather all the strength of what's left of the strength of my body and make my way upstairs. Now, from that couch to one flight of stairs above me to the next following door, that was a trip. It was a journey. All right. It took me forever to climb those stairs. All right. No, I wasn't on all fours sprawled out trying to get up that one flight of stairs. But boy, did it feel like I was climbing them forever. All right. So I finally got up the flight of stairs, right? I go into my room. I see my brother. He's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, yo, what's good? And he automatically knows, right? He's like, yo, like, what were you doing tonight? And I was like, just hanging out. He's like, yeah, right. So he knows. And if he knew, like, I low-key feel like my mom knew. But at the same time, when I saw her, it was pretty dark. So I'm pretty sure she didn't see all the features of my face. But I was in I was in more of a lighter area when I was talking to my brother at this point. So I hop in the shower. You know, I'm in there for a solid minute. I remember fucking just like sitting there feeling good in the hot water. So it was kind of chilly that night too. Like it wasn't like a summer night or anything, you know. And I get out of the shower, you know, get dressed up or whatever for bed and whatnot, and I go to bed. All right. Now a few hours later, so around this time, it's probably like around like 12ish. Now that I got everything done in fucking slow motion, it's around 12 o'clock. So I wake up no, around this time it's 12 o'clock, right? Where I'm just now getting ready to go to bed. And I go to bed. I wake up at like maybe 3, 4 in the morning ish. And I have to fucking yak. So how my house was set up, right? It was my room, then the bathroom, and then my mom's room, right? So I couldn't use the bathroom upstairs because it was right next to my mom's door. And I definitely wasn't gonna like start throwing up and then wake her up and have her like over my shoulder, like, like, you know, like it just bring up a weird conversation. I wasn't trying to have that conversation that night. You know, maybe in the morning, maybe another day, but yeah, I wasn't trying to do that night. It wasn't on my agenda. So I muster all the strength of my body to go downstairs to the bathroom on the first floor. Right. So here I am going downstairs. I finally make it to the bathroom. And I just throw up everything. Everything that I fucking ate that day. Everything that I drank that evening. And the 4 Locos that I had were red. So, like, I'm just throwing up red stuff. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm so fucked right now. Because I can't tell if it's, like, if I have, like, alcohol poisoning or what. Like, who knows if I'm fucking throwing up blood or whatever. Or what the fuck's going on. But I was just freaking out, being a new drinker and stuff like that. Like that, at this point, that's when I knew like drinking wasn't for me. So I'm throwing up, blah 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 blah. Right, right. Again, muster all the strength in my body and go back upstairs. From there, I go back upstairs, right, and I knock the fuck out. I just pass the fuck out. Then next day rolls around, and my mom comes to my room and she wakes me up. Right. Well, I think I woke up and then like went back to sleep for a little bit, and on that second iteration of sleep, she kind of like nudges me, and she's like, you got to go to class today," and I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna just like skip my first period," and she's like, "Hell no." She's like, "Hell no, you're not skipping your first period." Like, and she says this quote, and it will stick with me, right? She said, "If you want to hang out late and party hard, you got to be adult enough to take care of your priorities in the morning." So from that point, I kind of had a feeling she knew what was going on, but like, yeah, like I don't know, but at the same time, I was out late, so I think that's what she could be referencing to. But at the same time, I don't think she knew like the other details of that night, which was good. She was like she was chilling with it. You know what I mean? She was with the shits that night, which is pretty awesome. That's why I focus with my mom so much. She was with the shits. So I get up, get dressed, fucking head to fucking school or whatever, and I am hung the fuck over. So thankfully, at the school I was going to, right, they had like a cafeteria section for all like the college kids and whatnot. So I go in there, I get like a bowl of mixed fruit and a vitamin water. Right, I go to my first period of class. I'm like half dead in that class, trying not to fall asleep and whatnot. And then from there, like I had a math class first, and then I had a break, right, and then I had I had three more classes after that. So during that break, I just ate I tried to eat. So I opened up the bowl of mixed fruit, right? And then I look at it, I pick up a pineapple, put it in my mouth, and then like I just lose all my fucking appetite. Like from there I'm not hungry at all. So here I have a bowl of fruit that like I can't fucking digest. And then a vitamin water. I don't know what it was. The bottle looked cool, but the flavor was like horrendous. I think it was like one of the 0 calorie ones. And if you guys have ever had like the 0 calorie vitamin waters, like it's not sweet. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting vitamin water for the sweetness, not the taste of the bitterness. At that time, like I liked my sugary drinks, I guess you could say, but I just couldn't eat. And I see one of my boys that I was hanging out with. I hit him up. I'm like, "Yo, come to the cafeteria. Let's chill before my next class." So he comes through, and I'm like, "Yo, I fucking hate you guys." And he's like, "Why?" And I was like, "Forever introducing me to a Four Loco." So from there, we have a good laugh and shit. He goes to class. I didn't have like another class to like another, I want to say like maybe 45 minutes. So I just chilled and like tried to catch up on some homework and stuff. Slowly tried to recover. But by like midday, I started feeling a little better. Once I got home, I just went back to bed, and I think by like 6, like dinner time, like I was good again. But it was a hell of a night. It was a hell of a night, and it was a good experience though. Fucking I learned how to, I don't know, maybe I guess you can say like control how much I drink, and which is a good thing. It's better to learn at a younger age. Not talking about like 10 or 12 or anything, but learn how much you can intake and learn how much you can intake within a period of time. You know, because you don't want to ever be like out in public and go crazy the first time you drink or whatever, because it just won't be a fun time for you. But kind of a longer story today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like, share, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.